Hi, my name is Claire, and my family is very toxic. For starters, my parents would constantly try to pit my siblings against each other. We were forced to compete for their love and attention. If one of us got lower grades than the other two, they would belittle them and make them feel inferior. For sports, whoever did the worst would be yelled at and usually punished by being slapped. My parents thought that this would toughen us up and that by being forced to compete with one another, that it would make us stronger and more resilient, but all it really did was make us feel unloved and untrusting of each other. However, my younger brother Josh decided one day that he would no longer play our parents' insane games, and not long after I followed suit, which made both our mother and father very upset with us. They could tell that they were losing power over us, and so they doubled their efforts, and while it stung every time that they would abuse us, both of us decided that we would stick to our guns and chose to support each other and just ignore them. We figured that we would only have to put up with them until we were 18, and then we would be on our own and would no longer have to put up with them. Our eldest sister, Vanessa, though, continued to berate us and did her best to keep trying to win our parents' love. She hadn't come to realize that they didn't love us and were only playing games with our love and attention. Once our parents realized that my brother and I would no longer compete with Vanessa for their approval, they began to focus only on Vanessa, and no matter what she asked for, they would give it to her. She had the nicest of clothes and had every toy she could ever want. And when she got older, they would pay to have her in every class or play on any sports team that she wanted to join. My mom will neglect me and won't even buy me pads. My parents never yelled at Vanessa and will celebrate all her birthdays, whereas I and my Josh will get nothing. It was so incredibly unfair as Josh and I had to struggle for everything that we needed or wanted. Mom and Dad, can I please have $20 so that I can join the science team after school? The money will be used to buy materials to do experiments with. It will really help me to do better in chemistry and biology.
That's outrageous! We aren't made of money. If you want the money, then you should get a job.
But I'm not old enough to get a job.
Shut up. Girls in other countries your age are married and working. You are just lazy.
Oh, Daddy, I need $100.
Of course, my dear. Here you are. Have lots of fun.
But you didn't even ask what it was for. That's so unfair.
How dare you talk back to me? Go to your room. You're grounded.
No matter what I asked for, it would always end that way. For years, Josh and I struggled while Vanessa was given everything that she ever needed. That is until I graduated from high school. I knew that our parents wouldn't spare a single dollar for my college, and so I just applied for financial assistance and was accepted. Leaving for school was such a wonderful relief, although I felt guilty that Josh still had to endure a few more years living in our parents' home before he too could leave and go to school. After I graduated college, I began looking for work and managed to find work as a freelance writer. The pay wasn't much, but it allowed me to get my own place. And so I moved out from my parents' home and felt such relief knowing that I wouldn't have to live with them and their abuse anymore. When I was about leaving our house, my mom was so happy and said,
"Make sure to send us money, okay? Now that you're going, Vanessa can use your room to keep some of her dresses."
I didn't say anything and just left. A couple of years later, Josh graduated from business college, and I offered for him to move in with me.
Are you sure, Claire? I wouldn't want to impose.
Of course! Besides, it wouldn't be permanent. It would just be until you can get yourself settled. Plus, I feel guilty for leaving you alone in that house with our terrible parents.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I do appreciate it. I just need to find myself a job like yours and start making some money.
Well, I don't make that much. I would love to have the book I wrote publish it, though. Maybe that would make me rich. The two of us laughed, but then Josh got very serious.
Well, why don't you try to do it actually? As a thank you for letting me stay with you, I could help find companies interested in publishing your book, and I could even find you signing gigs. I could be like your manager. What do you say?
I mean, it didn't hurt, and if Josh really wanted to, I was willing to trust him and let him give it a try. And so, he got to work finding a company to make my book a reality, and after a few rejections, he found one that was interested. They gave me a huge signing bonus and offered me a contract to write 5 more books. I still have no idea how Josh managed to get that amazing deal, but it was the start of my career as an author. Josh was also offered a job by the company as well. A couple years later, I managed to buy myself a large house and had Josh move in with me while he looked for one for himself. It was a dream come true, and the two of us were so happy. That is until Vanessa came to visit.
How on earth did you two losers afford such an amazing home? Did you become criminals or something?
No, Vanessa. Claire is an amazing author, and I've been managing her. We're adults now. Why are you still so mean? You do realize that Mom and Dad aren't even here, right? There's no one here for you to impress.
Oh, them. Yeah, I don't have a use for them anymore. Listen, when can I move in?
What do you mean?
Well, Mom and Dad don't have any more money and they're being too strict, so obviously I need to move in with you two losers.
As it turned out, Vanessa had tried several times to go to college and had our parents pay for classes every time. When she failed, she would then just apply and take a different course, racking up massive amounts of debt as she did so. Since our parents were paying, they began to get overwhelmed with the debt and could barely afford their mortgage, let alone the growing debt that Vanessa was accumulating. Finally, they told her that she needed to start paying for things as well, and that they would force her to live on a very strict budget. Vanessa, however, refused to do so, and had decided that either Josh or I would just let her move in with us so that she could continue to live like she had gotten used to.
You're family and you both have money, so it's your responsibility to help me.
No, Vanessa, we don't need to help you. You're an adult. You need to figure this out on your own. Vanessa began to start crying and began to get angry. She couldn't understand why we wouldn't just give in like our parents always used to, and after asking her to leave a dozen times, we were forced to threaten to call the police and have her removed as a trespasser. After she left, the two of us called up our parents to see what had happened. They were incredibly desperate and begged us both to help them, or else they would have to file for bankruptcy and end up losing their house.
Please, you two need to help us. Your older sister has bankrupted us and we are desperate.
And why would we? You were terrible to us. You gave Vanessa everything and never cared about us until now that we've made it.
Yes, exactly. The two of you are rich now. You can help us out.
Are you insane? Nope, you never helped us. We had to do everything just the two of us. And why would we? You were terrible to us. You gave Vanessa everything and never cared about us until now that we've made it.
And so, we hung up on them. Part of me felt a bit guilty, but they had chosen to support only Vanessa, and they could have put a stop to enabling her bad behavior at any time and hadn't. It wasn't our fault that they didn't want to be responsible parents. After we hung up the phone, though, Josh began to grin devilishly, and I couldn't help but wonder why. A few weeks later, he invited me to go for a drive with him. Where are we going?
I have a wonderful surprise. I finally found a house that I wanted to buy.
As he spoke, we pulled up in front of our parents' house. Josh had managed to buy it once the bank repossessed it from our parents. Why did you buy it?
Revenge. So many bad memories were made in this place for us, and I wanted to give the house a chance to create some good memories for me instead.
But what about Vanessa and our parents? As it turned out, Josh had filed a restraining order against them so that they couldn't go anywhere near his house. As it was, Vanessa and our parents had been forced to move into a tiny bachelor pad together. Every so often, they would try to call and beg us for money, but we would just let their calls go to voicemail and never answered them. The three of them were miserable and constantly fought but had no choice but to continue to live together as they tried to climb their way out of debt. Not long after moving into his new house, Josh met a girl and ended up getting married and having 3 wonderful children there, filling the home with good memories. Not long after his first child was born, I too got married, and I'm happy to say that I am pregnant and am expecting my daughter to be born any day. Both Josh and I would never have guessed that we would escape from our toxic family, but we're truly glad that we did, and we're given the chance to make a whole new family, even if we had to cut out our parents and older sister to do it. Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video.